Hey y'all, I'm in the kitchen making my son a late night snack, and I'm gonna give y'all a story time of my upbringing. This story is, bear with me because it's tough for me to tell. I had a I wouldn't say it was rough. It was rough. Everybody got a pass, and mine was rough. So my mom and dad has 6 kids, and I'm the middle child. Well, it really is, they had 6 kids, but my cousin lived with us, so that made 7. And we all live with my grandma and granddad. I was raised by my grandma and granddad. And I'm gonna tell y'all how that became. So, we were living in Baltimore, Maryland. And my parents moved here when I was like 4 or 5 months. I don't know, I can't remember. And they moved here because they had an addiction to crack cocaine. And I guess they couldn't afford living in Maryland anymore with that addiction. The cost of living in Maryland, or my grandma wanted us close to help. I don't know. I was too young. I don't know exactly what was going on back then. But we moved to Pennsylvania, and it was only 3 of us then. And my mom went on and had another child that was born with special needs. Now, full-blown special needs child. And then she went on and had two more kids that was born normal. So, ouch. Sorry. She had 2 more kids that was born normal. So we got an apartment in the projects in Pennsylvania. I remember when our apartment caught fire one time, and they got it fixed. Like, we didn't get put out for that. It was minor. They got it fixed, and we was good. I do remember us getting padlocked out, and I guess my grandma and granddad would pay the rent and get us back in. But I do remember this one time we was going grocery shopping. It was food stamp day. We went grocery shopping. We came back home. We was padlocked out. And I don't know if the rental office was like, no, I just want y'all gone. I don't know what they said. But we ended up moving in with my grandma and granddad. So, mind you, my cousin already lived there. It's 6 kids. So that's 7 kids. My mom and dad, that made 9. My grandma and granddad, that's 11. And my uncle stayed there also. That's 12. 12 people in one house. In one house. My grandma and granddad's house was big. It was really, really big. They had 4 bedrooms upstairs, 1 bedroom downstairs, like off from the kitchen, and we had 3 bedrooms in the basement. So,
Hi.
your ex is almost done.
I know my ex was done. Do. Do.
All right, go ahead. I'm gonna call you back down.
No, I'm saying damage was done. Somebody's come out.
I'll be back. My granddad, he was old fashioned. He paid all the bills. My grandma did. Like, she kept food on the table. I'm sure my mom gave them our food stamps and stuff that she got for us. I'm sure she gave them that. But other than that, they paid. My granddad did everything. My grandma, like, kept us fed, bathed, clothed. You know, we went to school every day, kept us on the right track, you know. So we live with them. So I guess my mom and dad was getting out of control with their habit. And so my grandma and granddad bought another house, and we moved. And they told my mom and dad that they could stay in the current house that we were living in. And they had it so good. Now, this is my grandma and granddad's baby son. My dad is the baby. of 7 kids also. He's the baby, so he was spoiled. So he had it so good where they still paid all the bills. They literally just had a house to get high in. Like, they had a crack house to themselves. Bills paid, and that's probably the luxury of crack. Like, oh, I don't have to pay no bills, nothing, and I could get high. So they had it good. So they went into their addiction deep. We doing our thing with our grandma and granddad. We living with them. Like 3 years later, my grandma gets sick, kidney failure. So she had to get on dialysis. So she would go to dialysis 3 days a week. So, you know, she did her thing. Still, my grandma's still pushing it. Going to dialysis, still taking care of us, still doing everything. The only thing she did, my oldest sister, the 2 oldest, she did ask them to get a part-time job so they could help out a little bit because she couldn't work as much as she was. So they did that. They pulled their weight. They did that. So us around the house, like, she made us cook, clean. She taught us cook, clean, everything, like preparing us. And like 2 years later, she started getting worse. And she couldn't work no more. And like, she was taking us home for the worst. Like, but that's my grandma. She ain't going to no nursing home. We gonna shifts. We gonna work shifts. She took care of us. We gonna take care of her. I'm about maybe 13 at this time. Maybe 13. 13. Baby could cook a meal down, can clean a house down. Like, I was the woman of the house because my 2 older sisters, they were working to help on what my grandma was lacking in. They were helping with that. So we're kicking it, doing that. August 24th, 2004, my grandma passed away. The worst day of my life. The worst day of my life. Like, me and my grandma, because you had to think, I was in the house with her the most because my 2 older sisters, they were working. My younger sisters, they were out playing, like having a regular life. It was me in there doing everything. I was holding that house together. I was at 13. I had so much on my plate, so much, but I don't regret it. I would have did anything for my grandma, anything, because she stood up for us. She was there for us. Hold on. So, after she passed away, everything was everything, but stuff was getting tough because my granddad was still paying the bills, but my granddad that's all he did was pay the bills. Like buying us clothes and stuff, that portion was not there no more. So my older sisters, they did what they could, but the 18-year-old, one was 18, one was 19. The 18-year-old had 2 kids of her own at this point. She had 2 kids of her own by then, a husband, so she had her own. Like, when we moved out of that first house, she moved into her apartment, the apartments that we lived in when we first moved here. She moved into them apartments, so she had her own thing going. Even though they helped, they did what they could. They did what they could. So it's getting tough. They like, well, y'all gonna have to go to foster care. Foster care. when he getting split up, I said, I'll drop out of school. I'll do what I have to do to make sure my brothers and sisters do not split up. Thank God it didn't come to that. But when I say me and my older sister, we worked our ass off. At this time, I'm 15 now. 15, doing a job of a 30-year-old, cooking, cleaning, getting my sisters and brothers up for school, getting their clothes out, making sure, like, when I leave the school, making sure they dress, waking up early, doing homework with them, doing everything a grown woman was supposed to be doing. And then we made it. We made it my senior year. Senior skip day. Senior skip day. Our house burned down. My granddad let the insurance lapse. So he had money, but he ain't had money like that to just buy another house. And it was just, he didn't want to go back to the old house. The house burned down and we scattered like roaches. One was living here, one was living there, one was living there. And I remember my aunt having a conversation with my dad, my mom and dad. They living with a friend or somewhere. And my aunt, I don't know how my aunt found out about it, but she seen the way they was living. And she was like, y'all can't be living like this. And y'all kids all over the place. And that was the wake-up call for my mom and dad. They got high for like maybe a month. They went on another heist, went to go steal at Giant Eagle, stealing steaks and shrimp, because that was their go-to to go get high. They would go to stores and steal stuff. And they end up getting caught and going to jail. And when they came home from jail, they were clean. They got my younger brother and sister back, because they were staying with my oldest sister. Some of us was staying with my aunt. I was staying with my uncle. I wasn't going back. And that's my problem. I still hold a grudge with my parents to this day. I wasn't going back. I went off to college, graduated. I wasn't going back. And my parents, I will give them that. They still clean to this day. Shout out to them. And I know I need to get over that, because I hold a grudge. And it ain't right. I know it ain't right, but I don't know. I do. I'm going to end it here. I could tell y'all more, but I'm going to end it here. Thanks. Bye, y'all. Oh, I forgot to tell y'all this part. When I was in like 10th grade, I wanted to do sports. Like, I did have a regular life too, but I had a lot on my plate. So my sister's best friend, she knew my grandma and they were close too. She came and stayed with us for like 4 months and helped my older sisters out. She was a big help. Shout out to her. She know who she is. I'm not gonna say her name, but she know who she is.